So we'll get to the Warriors a little bit later. We'll react to them, but I want to talk about Brock because this is the big story in the Bay Area right now. And I want to ask you, Shafsky, and the rest of Niner fans, 888-957-9570. I want to hear from the roasters. I really do. I missed all you guys for a week in Cabo. Trust me, I missed you. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy yesterday visited Dr. Keith Meister. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, who recommended postponing surgery because of ongoing inflammation in Purdy's elbow. They'll reconvene in early March. All signs continue to point to a UCL repair that would have Purdy ready for the 2023 season. I don't know about that one, Shasky. I just don't know about him being ready for week 1 of the season. And I asked you this as a Niner fan. You've been through this, seems like every single year under Kyle Shanahan.
It's Shanahan. I was going to go, the last 13 years have been, honest to God.
The 1 year hardball with Kaepernick. We knew Kaepernick was going to be the guy.
Yeah, but you still had people that, let's go back. For like 20 years, we have played quarterback roulette. There has not been one offseason. Name me one offseason where we haven't had some of the fan base going, I don't know what we're doing here. Why are we moving Alex? Yeah. Why don't we give Alex a shot? Why are we going with Kaepernick? Oh, why are we going with Blaine Gabbert?
Put the fans aside for a second. Just as a team, they knew they were going into it week 1 with Colin Kaepernick. From 2012 to 20, they knew once Kaepernick took that job, you're going back in there next year because you had Jaws and you had everybody. Could this be the greatest quarterback ever? Colin Kaepernick, blah, blah, blah,
That was 10 years ago. It feels like every single offseason has been riddled with quarterback something or other.
Since the Kaepernick stuff,
it's driving me crazy. Can we just have one normal offseason?
Yeah, so this offseason. But is this a deal breaker? Does it change the offseason plans for the 49ers at the quarterback position? Because you heard Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch say we're comfortable going into the season with Brock Purdy and Trey Lance because we feel we have 2 quarterbacks who are capable of starting. Does it change the plan to the quarterback spot?
What do they say? If you have 2, you don't have 1, right? I don't know, B. I don't know what they think of Trey Lance. Like, Kyle's coming out telling, I think it's Ian Rappaport, well, we were underwhelmed with him athletically. Dog, look in the layup line and assess some players. Like, I know who can dribble with their right and left hand in a layup line. I watched Trey Lance throw about, 15 passes in 11-on-11s, and I knew right away, he's not Lamar Jackson.
Right.
That's not his skill set. Can't you assess the quarterback position? This is where, I look at...
so is that on Shanahan?
Well,
is that on Lynch? Because if that's the case, that's a big-time blunder to give up all those picks for a guy you thought, wait a minute, I thought we were getting a Lamar. We didn't get Lamar.
Bill Walsh is one of the greatest evaluators of talent of all time.
Yep.
Did he have misses?
Absolutely.
Yeah, primarily on the defensive line. You know what I mean? He whiffed on the D-line a lot, actually, if you look back at some of his, when he was the GM in the 90s and what he did during the 80s and whatnot, right? No one ever talks about that. Can Bill Belichick draft a wide receiver to save his life?
Doesn't feel like it.
No. I mean, he could trade for a 7th-round guy and develop him into one, or trade for Randy Moss and develop him into one, but he can't draft his own. It feels like, to me, and as great as Kyle is with the X's and O's and the offense and all that, I do think it's fair to go, I don't even know if he knows what he's looking for in a quarterback.
It felt like he got wooed or wowed by Josh Allen during the pandemic season when they played the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football in Glendale, Arizona. He was like, boy, I thought that you needed a pocket quarterback, but that's the quarterback you need in today's game. A guy who could throw it, strong arm, throw it down the field, and then run when you need to. Well, I think Trey Lance has a lot of those attributes. If you teach him to be a pocket quarterback. I think he is a pocket quarterback, although he ran a lot at North Dakota State, but those are design runs and stuff like that. If that is the mistake where you're sitting here 2 years later saying, boy, we thought we were getting this electrifying guy who had a lot of wiggle, who could make people miss in open field, and now we see him in practice like, oh, we whiffed. That's bad scouting.
Well, but I'll tell you,
that's bad scouting. You need to fire the entire scouting department if that's the case.
Let's start with this. He's not as athletic as we wanted because we wanted to run more.
Right.
If that's what you were looking for, why didn't you take Justin Fields, who ran a better 40 time, and was a more accomplished, better runner,
and who you saw since he was a kid.
Exactly.
He was in all your quarterback camps. Every single year. You've known Justin Fields for over 10 years. You just met Trey Lance.
The Trey Lance can't get to the outside thing that they're saying where he's not as athletic, that's a cop-out. To me, that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm viewing that.
That's not taking
blame. And I
blame.
love Shanahan.
That's not taking accountability for a bad pick if that's the case.
Look, it's okay to say he's not as refined as we want him to be from the pocket. He doesn't, call the plays the way we want him to, or he doesn't see the field the way we want him to. Like, that's fair to say. To say that we underestimated how little athleticism he has on the outside, well, that's you not assessing the athlete properly. Then I have a problem.
That's a problem.
That's like saying a guy throws 99 and he comes into your camp and he's throwing 93.
So, but what I've seen from Trey Lance in that practice, in the practices, in the games, even though it's a small sample size, I saw him in Chicago in that weather. I said, man, this guy can make throws.
I know.
He can make all the throws if you teach him to make and keep him in the pocket. But the problem I had was, okay, you don't think you found out he wasn't Lamar Jackson, yet you still ran him like Lamar Jackson. And then he breaks his ankle.
And how many guys in the league can get ran like Lamar Jackson?
Not many.
Well, the one of them who had success his name's Justin Fields.
Well, even he gets hurt.
No, I agree.
Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson gets hurt. They all get hurt.
I don't even like Justin Fields. I mean, I'm rooting for him, but in terms of like franchise quarterbacks moving forward, the jury's out. I don't know.
Out, but you got to get them weapons. You can't have them out there throwing a.
No, I agree.
I can't even name a receiver other than St. Brown with them.
I agree. I still truly believe, and this is where philosophically, if Kyle has some change of heart, I don't know. My thought has always been, and it will always be this way, mobility behind the line of scrimmage is phenomenal, and it adds elements. You still need to win primarily from the pocket.
That's what Mahomes did.
From the pocket.
That's what you quarterbacks do to win Super Bowls. You look at, and this is a great point from Overstand 510. We'll get to the calls in just a second. 888-957-9570. That Bears game was the first game of my life where I turned off the TV after a Niners loss and said, and was encouraged. And I felt the same way. Now, I was running hot after the Bears game because they lost to the Chicago Bears. And that's a game that probably cost their home field advantage alongside the Denver game. But I thought, boy, they lost that game, but that wasn't on Trey. Did Trey play great? No. The offensive line didn't play great. Debo fumbles on the opening of possession inside the red zone. McGlinchey misses block after block after block. You blow a coverage against Dante Pettis.
The Bears want McGlinchey. That's a rumor.
You can have him. For that price point, they're talking about he's going to get $12 to $15 million a year. Have fun with that.
For a guy who can only run block.
Have fun. Have fun.
Yeah, I'm good off that.
But I want to see a little more, Trey. Let's go to the line, Shasky. JR in London. Oh, in London. We're international. London.
Wow.
JR, what's happening?
London.
Hello?
Yeah, JR, what's good?
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm just out here studying abroad for college. But my question is, oh, you're good. No, when my thoughts on the whole Purdy Lance situation is, I want to get your opinion about this. I kind of agree with Bonte. When I think about quarterbacks that are in the modern NFL and making deep playoff postseason runs, I think it's you got to have the physical traits. Like you think about Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, Josh Allen. I'm not saying he's like those guys, but I think he has the capability to do plays and those exciting plays more like that than I'd say a Purdy would. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? But after reading the report, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish up. You're all the way in London. You're probably getting billed for international calls.
Yeah. After reading the reports from Kawakami and Grant Cohn, it just seems like nobody believes in Lance anymore. It seems like Shanahan said, I remember he was on your show and he said, Purdy's the guy that Shanahan likes, and all the leaders, McCaffrey, Bosa, Kittle, Samuel, they all prefer Purdy. So what are your thoughts on this?
The reality is this. You have to show it, prove it, and earn it. It's that simple. And that's where I feel like we're in a holding pattern right now. Right. If you're a 49er fan, we could talk about what Trey hasn't done yet, what he might do, what he could do, physical traits, all the buzzwords, whatever you want to throw out there. Right. He's got to go out and earn it. And so I feel like we're talking a lot about Trey and Brock, and 99% of this is now in his shoulders, his lap, where he can control it, and he has to go out there and he has to play well and earn the trust of his teammates and the coaching staff.
Well, David Lombardi just tweeted this out from The Athletic. Trey Lance has to get fully healthy. Just a few days ago, Trey Lance revealed that he misspoke about his February fully cleared date. He's scheduled to run and begin full drop-back passing this weekend, but full clearance is still pending. So as of now, the Niners have no healthy quarterbacks for 2023. However, this is a good sign.
And I heard
that
Josh
he's
Johnson
scheduled.
still has concussion issues.
You're kidding.
I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Marshawn was like alluding to like Josh Johnson, like the concussion things. Like he's had some really bad headaches and whatnot.
Well, he got rocked a few times in that game. The first
he couldn't even walk off the field.
Dude, I know. We watched.
I said, Bonte, he can't even walk.
No, he was in the daze. He tried to look at the scoreboard. He immediately put his head down.
I felt so bad for him.
Well, he fumbled when Hassan Reddick sacked him in the second quarter. Or first quarter when he got hit.
Had the ball before he hit the ground.
Yes, no doubt. And the Eagles are looking like, should we challenge? Should we challenge? He got rocked on that play.
Yes.
He was not right.
Yes.
He's not right. Poor Josh Johnson, man. Hopefully he gets right.
I hope he's okay.
Trey Lance winning the trust of his teammates because obviously he hasn't. George Kittle saying Brock's a guy. Shanahan basically, we heard Kawakami he joined us in the studio a couple weeks ago. He's a guy. Brock Purdy. A lot of the fans believe Brock Purdy's a guy.
We said this a year ago about Trey.
We said this about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people tried to sell it to the fan base that Blaine Gabbert was the guy, which was laughable. But they tried to sell that to him. Trey winning the trust. You would have thought that he won a little trust with the Texan game. Because, again, the magnitude of that football game was you lose, you're not going to the playoffs.
But, Bonte, I just think when we look at this.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
He made throws and all that stuff.
You're talking about two isolated games with a lot of time in between.
Right.
Then one game at the very next year in terms of as a starter. He's got 3 starts, basically. Okay? The fourth one was the one he got hurt in right away. Brock had the opportunity to play week after week after week, so there was some consistency.
Right, no doubt.
There was more body of work,
No
obviously.
doubt.
There was ability for him to get in rhythm, the team to get in rhythm
No
with
doubt.
him. Right now, if we're just looking at bodies of work, even though it's so little, Brock's is clearly more comprehensive than what we've seen from Trey.
No doubt.
For a variety of reasons.
Right.
But he has an opportunity now to win over his teammates through the consistency day after day, play after play, week after week.
And he gets to do it, hopefully, with George Kittle in the lineup.
Yes, that would be nice.
He didn't have that
nice.
in the latter half of training camp.
No.
He didn't have that with George Kittle.
No.
Obviously, he hasn't had a snap with Christian McCaffrey. That would be nice. You get Debo, who I don't think was in great shape going into week 1 against Chicago. He dead on.
Well, he showed up late.
He showed up late.
Yeah.
Was not in shape early on. He signs a contract. Didn't work out with Trey Lance in the offseason. Can we get a workout with Trey Lance in the offseason? Can I get all the skill position guys, not just Brandon Ayuk? Can I get Kittle? Can I get CMC? Can I get everybody else on that roster to not only work with Trey, but have Brock Purdy there too? Build that rapport.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Debo didn't want to work out with nobody because he was fighting over money, so he's in Miami, and Brandon Ayuk's in L.A. with Trey Lance. But I would like to see it with George Kittle, too.
Be one thing that as we head toward the offseason and we're thinking about next year's team and all that stuff, which I know it feels like years away.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle had a down year after signing the big extension where he just got hurt and the quarterback play was suspect.
Spotty.
But he didn't have a great year by his standards. When Fred Warner signed the big extension, he didn't have a great year by his standards. You know what I mean? I think Debo has a bounce back year next year.
Yeah, so that's another funny part when it comes to Debo. In Cowboy, you got a lot of time in your hands. You're reading at the pool. I'm just going down the rabbit hole, and I'm thinking to myself, why do people want to trade Debo Samuel?
Why would they want to trade any of our weapons?
You got to ride this out for at least another season.
The whole point of having a rookie quarterback on a
is
rookie
having
deal.
all these weapons.
Yes,
think about how it helped out Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
He had all these weapons.
Exactly.
All these weapons Jalen Hurts has on the rookie deal. Now he's going to get chipped out, but you still got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I like Quez Watkins. I like the stable of running backs that they have. You want to have a lot of weapons. So when you do play at Kansas City, you do play at Buffalo, you do play at Philadelphia, you're saying, look, I could go to McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk. You got to play my guys straight up. Trading Debo Samuel will be foolish.
I agree.
Now, he's got to get in better shape.
Ayuk.
I would not trade Ayuk.
I wouldn't trade any of the weapons right now.
But Debo does have to get better with his route running. He has to get better.
Okay.
He has to get better. You can't just be Percy Harvin and be a specialist.
Did you watch the Seattle playoff game? Didn't look like route running was a problem there.
No, it didn't. But I would like them to clean up, though. I like them to clean it up a little bit.
He needs to add a little to his bag.
Exactly. You can't just run power slants all the time.